Farm Radio Show with agricultural news, information, interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
Hey, partly sunny good morning to you. Jonathan Dent filling in for Terry on this Wednesday morning. Terry will be back with us tomorrow, but I'm alongside Matthew Lester here at Radio Center. Matthew, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. It's kind of been a crazy day. Charlie and I have been tag teaming for the duration of the morning, but we should be all set to go once we get through the farm show here. So looking forward to it. Hey, talk about getting through things. Yesterday afternoon, wow. We should be through most of it, and it's shaping up to be a pretty nice weekend here for the extended holiday weekend. Much cooler day than yesterday in store for us here today. Of course, after those storms blew through in the afternoon, it became a much cooler day pretty quickly. All told, we got up to 94 degrees right before those storms. That's just 1 degree off from tying the record high for yesterday's date, which was 95 degrees. Official rain in the gauge out at the airport between 6 and 7/10 of an inch, so not too bad. The wind, of course, was contributing to all sorts of problems across the region. Some areas are still working on recovering from power outages and some damage from high winds. So out at the airport, 26 miles per hour, the highest gust we saw, but over the course of an hour, we went from 94 degrees down to 73 degrees. That was between 4 and 5 p.m. Then early this morning, we dipped down to 68 degrees. We'll warm up a little bit here today, but not nearly as much as we saw, at least to start the week. Right now, Matthew, what are we looking at temperature-wise?
Currently, over at the airport, it's cloudy at 74. Over in Midland, it's partly sunny at 77. Here at Radio Center, it's cloudy at 72. We have northeast winds at 9 miles per hour, and our pressure's at 30.06, and it's steady.
Yeah, that pressure a little bit lower than what we've been seeing over the last few days, and we're looking at a nice weather pattern to set in here for the rest of the day. A pretty interesting spread of temperatures, 5 degree difference between here in Saginaw and up in Midland. So still pretty humid today, and that'll give us a chance to see a few more showers and possibly thunderstorms throughout the day. Scattered activity, but it will be present. We're looking at 76 degrees for a high today, at least here in Saginaw. Out in Midland, they've already broken that. Winds out of the north, 5 to 15 miles per hour. That chance of rain really starts to thin out as we get into the overnight hours. Still some pop-up showers here and there possible. 63 degrees is our projected low for tonight. Tomorrow, we get a break from the rain for most of the day, mostly cloudy skies, up to that 78, 79 degree range, maybe 80, depending on how much sun we get. Winds shift to be more southerly as we get into the evening hours, and we start to see a storm system really make its way in from the west. Scattered rain beginning after midnight, but as we get into Friday, that will ramp up throughout the day. Rain through the morning, then another round of thunderstorms likely Friday afternoon and evening. We'll get up to the mid-80s during the day on Friday, then down to 60 overnight. The good news about that system is it should blow through pretty quickly once we get through Friday. We should see that rain clear out Friday night, starting off a beautiful Labor Day weekend Saturday. Sunny skies, highs in the low 80s, then down to just below 60 overnight. Sunday, we stay mostly sunny and reach into the upper 70s, maybe hitting that 80-degree mark again, then dropping into the upper 40s overnight. And we keep cooling down on Labor Day, a high only about 70. But all the way through, keeping those sunny skies during the day and cool temperatures and clear skies overnight. So a good last push for summer. I guess I got a little bit ahead of myself when I said beautiful forecast in store. We still have that round of storms to see us through on Friday, but again, that should blow through pretty quickly. Our long-range outlook takes us through September 10th. We're looking at above average temperatures, below average precipitation, Our average temperatures for this date, for August 28th already, average high 79 degrees. We're looking at lows of 58. The record high set on this date in 1926, then tied in 1953, was 95 degrees. And a record low set in 1982 and tied 4 years later in 1986, 39 degrees. No harm in or no danger of breaking either of those records here today. We're much closer to average for the remainder of today. The warmest ever, August the 28th, set in 1973, 83 degrees was the average temperature that day. Sun will set this evening at 8:18, rise tomorrow morning at 6:57. We'll have a little bit more on the weather as we move on through the broadcast, but for our market report, who are we talking to today?
Up next, we have Cody Harris from Star of the West, and we also have Doug Klein from Oppenheimer.
I will ask you to bear with us. We are having a few phone issues here today, so we will try and get these conversations in without any issues, but just so you're aware, that market report is coming up. But first, the weather report today, brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrien Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today.
Let's head over to Star of the West. That's where we find Cody Harris this morning. Cody, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. How you guys doing today?
We're doing great. One step in the right direction if the phones are working right now. So what are we looking at today?
Well, right now, midweek, we got a mixed board here today. Corn's looking at maybe unchanged and down a little bit. Soybeans are in the red, and wheat's actually got a little bit of positive, kind of going off of the ending of yesterday. We finished higher yesterday, and wheat we're up again today. So hopefully we continue to keep that rolling. But kind of diving into the specifics here, cash wheat that's up 5 at the moment, 508 on the white, 433 on the red. New crop 2025 wheat that's up 7. 580 on the white, 495 on the red. Looking over at cash corn oil, I'll call that down 2 at the moment at 290. New crop corn down 1 at 327. And then look over at soybeans. Cash soybeans are down 8 at 959. And new crop soybeans are down 8 as well at 899.
Boy, the definition of a mixed bag here today. One up, one down, and corn's just kind of hanging in the middle there. What's going on?
Well, we got some better than expected rains kind of moving across a lot of the corn belt here. I know in Missouri, Eastern Iowa, Northern Illinois, and Indiana is getting some much needed rain. So that's putting a little pressure on the markets there as that weather's kind of at great timing here, especially for their soybeans. Maybe one thing as far as weather to keep in mind that we're seeing actually kind of the opposite of that down in the southern plains. They're getting some pretty extensive heat over there, and that may take the top end off of some yield, especially in soybeans. So that's something to watch out for. But they're really kind of rocking off that weather report, and definitely for most of the corn belt. Also for kind of corn and beans wise, as far as trading is concerned, I was looking at this morning, barge freight continues to rise in the Mississippi River because those levels in the river are falling. I think I saw that. I think right now St. Louis barge freight's double as it was compared to about a month ago. So that's really affecting kind of some demand on that front, pushing these markets lower. And then kind of as far as wheat, kind of the odd one of the bunch here this morning. Yesterday we kind of traded, we were down early in the morning and finished higher. And that really kind of hit some technical points. I think they kind of made a bullish engulfing bar as far as a lot of traders like to concern it. And I think we got to close higher today to even get more of these kind of candlestick charting traders more interested in wheat, and we're trending in the right direction right now. But it seems like just a technical move on that wheat side. But we'll take every penny we can at the moment.
So not just a mixed bag of results, but a mixed bag of causes as
Oh
well.
yes, all over the place.
Well, hey, thanks for keeping track of all of it, and thanks for bringing us up to date on it.
No problem. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, Cody Harris from Star of the West. Market report today brought to you by Thumb Bank and Trust. They've been making agricultural loans since 1895. Farming today continues to offer challenges that are very demanding, and Thumb Bank and Trust helps you stay up to date on industry trends and the trends of your operation. Thumb Bank and Trust, serving you with locations throughout the Thumb and in the Great Lakes Bay region. Thumb Bank and Trust, where relationships are built on trust. Equal opportunity lender, member FDIC. Over to Oppenheimer we go. We say good morning to Doug Klein. Doug, how are we doing today?
Well, like he mentioned, kind of mixed on the grains. The dollar's a little bit stronger today, pushing towards 101. So precious metals giving back a little bit. Crude oil's kind of topped off. Of course, we know that was just a joke. So that's under $75 a barrel right now. A lot of nervousness about demand. Obviously, we're watching for NVIDIA's earnings tonight. They're down about 3% today. So I don't know. Also, Salesforce is going to announce tonight. So couple of big stocks that are gonna give some projections for obviously for the last year and plus the year coming up. So that's going on. Helmerich and Payne hit a new low today for the year. That's a big oil guy, not necessarily a producer, but a supplier to the oil industry. So that's kind of a litmus test for what's going on in energy. Trump stock, DJT, hit a new low today since it went public. And you remember back, I'm going to say about 3-4 months ago when he called out the short sellers and he run that stock up to $79 a share. Well, it's back down to $19.50. So it's had a...
We lost Doug. That's the phone issues I was bringing up. We'll try and get him back on the line. In the meantime, we will take a quick break.
Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Rummel Agency because, they understand the risks that you have as a Michigan farmer and an agribusiness owner. Now, they know that every farm they vary, like the crops in the fields. They know also that you are more than a number. They want to have a conversation with you. They want to get to know you. They want to get to know your family, your goals, and dreams for the future, and how important these things are to you. One-on-one, that's what it's all about, to get the right farm insurance protection for you and your family. See them today. Give them a call. Frankenmuth, Saginaw, and Caro, the Rummel Insurance Agency. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Quality Roasting of Reese, purchasing local soybeans, processing the local beans, and marketing local Exceller meal, which is a high bypass soybean meal for your dairy herd. They've been doing that since 1991. Quality Roasting of Reese, offering competitive, consistent prices for your soybeans. Give them a call for a quote today.
And we're back with you on the Farm Show. Terry Henne out for today. Jonathan Dent filling in. And the severe weather that we had yesterday definitely took a toll on some of our phone systems. And we're still working on getting Doug Klein back on the line. In the meantime, let's take a look back at that weather. Speaking of severe weather, we've got another round of thunderstorms expected here this Friday, and that should blow through relatively quickly. Today, we're looking at a high of just about that 73. Well, hold on, let me get that right. We're looking at a high of 76 degrees for a high today, with winds coming out of the north 5 to 15 miles per hour. Pop-up showers possible as we make our way into the evening. We've got Doug back on the line. Doug, sorry about that. Phones are being temperamental this morning.
Must be the weather.
Absolutely. So what do we got on the board?
All right, so we'll start you off with the corn. The September corn is $3.66, down a penny and a quarter. December corn, $3.92.5, down a quarter of a penny. November soybeans, $9.78 3/4, down 7 3/4. The January soybeans, 9.95.5, down 8. September wheat, 5.14 3/4, up 6.5, and December wheat, 5.42.5, up 7. Crude oil is 74.82, down 71 cents. Heating oil is 227.48, down 3.5 cents. Gasoline 208.29, down 1.5 cents. Natural gas 208.5, unchanged. The currencies: Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar buys $1.3457 Canadian, up 17 ticks. The dollar buys 144.42 yen, up 47 ticks. The euro's at 111.27, down 57 ticks. And the dollar's at 100.96, up 41 ticks. Gold's at 25.0610, down $11.60. Silver's 29.35, down 63 cents. Platinum's at 942.40. That is up or down $20.40, and copper's at 422.85, down 7.5 cents.
All right, Doug, thank you very much. We'll
All
talk
right.
to you again next week.
Yep. Sounds good.
All right, Doug Klein from Oppenheimer. Over to Bay Landscaping and Garden Center we go this morning. That's where we find Jerry Samalski. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning. I'm glad I got through.
Yeah, me too. I've received word from our engineer, Justin, that the phones should be working now. So I think we're in a good spot. What do you got for us
Good.
today?
Hey, I was listening to you in the morning before work, and you were talking about the corn fog.
Yes.
And evapotranspiration. It's a real deal. And so basically what happens is, we perspirate and plants respirate, and they constantly give off moisture. So, in a cornfield on a hot day, you're saying how much moisture can come off, and it's true. And the same thing's true with our trees. That's part of it, is the heat sump and the effects of having trees in urban areas helps keep everything cooler. Number one, the shade, but number two, they give off that moisture that keeps it a lot cooler. So anyway, at the end of the day, this is a great rain. We had, in my gauge, 4/10 in the morning yesterday, and then 1 inch when that storm came through in the afternoon. So we just got dumped on here. But that's good moisture for now. But we're going to lose 1/8 of an inch of water a day just by evaporation and the plants taking up. So, maybe somebody can check me on this, but you go put a pan of water outside and have 1 inch in it, and within a week, that inch is going to be all but gone just by evaporation. So then when the plants are sucking it up and putting out their leaves, that's even more pressure for moisture in the area. So again, that's why we talk about watering so much. It is a very important thing to do to manage and keep an eye on a plant in your particularly newly planted plants, but even existing plants. Keep an eye on them and think about them. A lot of times when we have sprinkler systems, we think we have a car with cruise control. We turn it on in the spring and we don't turn it off till fall. Well, meanwhile, there's been a lot of change in traffic, and you need to keep an eye on, turning off the cruise control, putting it back on where and when you should. So, yeah, keep an eye on water. It's the most important thing in gardening.
Water in and water out. Thank you, Jerry. You have a good one.
All righty. We'll talk to you.
All right. Jerry Samalski with Bay Landscaping and Garden Center. We'll take a break. Then we'll head over to Nutrien Ag and talk with Ed Benkert.
Brought to you today by the folks at Michigan Truck Spring of Saginaw, your complete parts and service headquarters for light, medium, and heavy-duty trucks and trailers, as well as buses and recreational vehicles. Quality parts and service at very competitive prices for well over 45 years. 800-358-4751 or buy online at truckspring.com. And don't forget, they're open Monday through Friday till 11 p.m.
This year, make your farm produce the highest yield ever. Give your soil and your plants the boost of a 1-2 punch with liquids from Dairy Dew.
Stabilize your nitrogen with Humic Blaster, a great companion to UAN28, a great source of natural carbon. Humic Blaster allows your soil to hold nutrients and water at the root zone, saving it for crop consumption.
Protect your crops with Dairy Dew's Kelpful by adding it to any foliar application. Like vitamin C is good for our immune system, kelp boosts the ability of plants to resist disease and other stressors. fertilizers. Fulvic acid makes fertilizers more effective, unlocking their full potential. Dairy Dew's Liquid Kelpful has both.
Liquid Amendments can also have a free ride over your fields when you combine them with your herbicide or fungicide application. No extra fuel, compaction, or time and labor.
Take care of your crops to produce the best yield ever with help from Dairy Dew. Learn how Dairy Dew liquids can make a difference on your farm. Call a soil health expert at Morgan Composting today or visit dairydew.com.
Healthy plants come from healthy soil. Healthy soil comes from Dairy Dew.
Time to head over to Nutrient Ag Solutions. That's where we find Ed Bankert this morning. Ed, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Doing pretty well. How'd that rain do for you?
You know, actually, I'm in Champaign, Illinois right now. Came down with a couple of our locations, Linwood location and Henderson, bringing customers touring our Nutrient Ag Solutions Ag Innovation Farm. And they had about 8 tents down here last night. It's a little sticky, but we're looking at a lot of plots and validating a lot of data and products that, before we bring them to the field, we do a lot of testing internally. And this is one of our main sites in the Midwest. So that's what I'm doing today.
So what are we looking at when it comes to making our way towards fall here?
Well, I've had a couple calls, and even last week, tar spots starting to show up throughout mid-Michigan and the thumb, especially in the thumb where we haven't had it that bad a couple years ago, and even some fields that were sprayed. But, a lot of those fungicides were 30-plus days ago, and, they've kind of ran out of steam. And I don't feel it's going to be extremely yield limiting, and I do feel that the fungicides that we put on were extremely beneficial. But just, I'm coaching our team to keep an eye on these fields, maybe look at them every 7 to 10 days and make sure that stalks aren't deteriorating. We're not getting any early die. And, the corn plants themselves are close to black layer. We're full dent, and we're close to black layer. We're close to the end. But, it might be a situation where we want to watch those fields of varieties that took it a little worse. So we may need to get in there and combine them a little earlier to make sure that we don't have any issues with standability or stalk integrity.
That was going to be my question. Is this late in the game, is tar spot going to impact things too much?
I think as long as you planted timely, early May, and the crop is close to the end, which it is, I think we're going to maybe see a little bit of, especially if it's heavy and if the variety is maybe doesn't have as much tolerance to tar spot. We do see major differences in varieties, but overall, I think we've passed the midpoint where it's going to be extremely devastating. I think we could have some issues, especially from standability, but yield wise, I think, we may lose a little bit, but I truly believe it's late enough that hopefully we won't have any major losses.
All right, Ed, thank you very much. We'll talk to you again.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Ed Bankert with Nutrient Ag Solutions. We'll be right back.
The Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. They're licensed to serve all of Michigan with both conventional and organic crop insurance. Now, you can reach their agents directly on their cell phones for questions or emergencies, or you can call the office in downtown Reese. It's 989-868-4722. Risk management, it's all about protecting yourself against the bad things, taking advantage of the good things. You can do all of that and more by working with the folks at the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency.
It happens after every commercial building gets built.
That looks great, boys. Wow, what a change. The owners are going to be thrilled.
Even after cleaning out the garage or shed. That leftover scrap metal can be a burden, but it doesn't have to be, and it can make you some cash. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal is a metal recycling company that'll pay you cash and recycle your metal for the future. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal also makes it easy. We can provide containers for industrial manufacturing facilities and small specialty shops for moving and storing scrap metals. Looking to scrap a vehicle? We got you. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal in Saginaw, just north of the Dow Event Center. Also located in West Branch, 1 mile off I-75 and M76. Schedule a car pickup or check metal prices now at rifkin-co.com. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal, recycling today for tomorrow.
Friday, bonus pricing has been extended at Rifkin Steel.
Farm Service is being brought to you by Freeland Bean and Grain. Getting ready for the planting season next year? It's not too early. All you got to do is give certified crop advisor Vic Hupfer a call at Freeland Bean and Grain. He's got the answers to any questions you might have. Freeland Bean and Grain. Since 1983, where serving you is their business. Need tree trimming? How about tree removal? You need Legendary Tree Care. No job is too big, no job is too small. They're fully licensed and insured, and they specialize in big projects. LegendaryTreeCare.com, or like them on Facebook. They're there when you need them.
Following up a little bit on our conversation with Jerry Samalski, we were talking about it earlier this morning on the morning team. An acre of corn gives up anywhere between 4,000 to 5,000 gallons of water a day in evapotranspiration, I think is what it's called. So some interesting stuff there. We now conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem, brought to you by Euclid Avenue Coins.
Broadcasting from the Stormmaster Exterior Studios, WSGW, Saginaw Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by